Hi, boys and girls. I would like to quickly look at the map with you and then do chapters 9 and 10. So Moses brings the Jewish people till here, till Shittim. He actually dies right next to it on Mount Nebo, N-E-B-O, Har Nevo, Nun Vet Vav. Okay, and Yoshua starts over here, and first from Shittim they cross the Jordan River. This is the Jordan River. Okay, they cross the Jordan River to Gilgal. Gilgal is where they do the circumcision. Then after the circumcision, they celebrate Pesach and they begin the conquest. First Jericho, then Ai, that's a failure. 36 people die. Then the ambush at Ai. From Ai, we will go on to the next chapter 9, and we're going to meet the Givonim, or in English, Gibeonites. Givonim. And then look at the strategy. One part of his army goes south, and then they go north. This was kind of a valley that you could cross, protected by the mountains. One group goes north, one group goes south, and that's how they conquer Eretz Israel. Let's go into the text itself now. Chapter 9. So now word gets out. These Jews comes, they blow the trumpet, and they make noise, and the walls of Jericho come tumbling down. They go into Ai, they get defeated, and lo and behold, they turn around and ambush the city with trickery, and they're able to capture Ai. So now their reputation is all over. I'm going to pause for a minute. Okay, I hope this worked, and I'm back on. So now all the kings in all the Jordan area, the mountains, the valleys, the shore, the entire Lebanon, the Hittite, the Amorites, the Canaanite. Let's see if I can move the map up for you. There we go. Okay, so all the kings that are living here, the Amori, the Edomi, and all the kings here, the text goes on to describe, maybe a little exaggerated, but they're building up the stature of Joshua. Everybody heard about him, and they all get together, they all unite to fight with Joshua unanimously, with one accord. But the Gibeonites heard that what God did to them in Jericho and Ai, and they also did trickery, and they went and they pretended like they come from far away with sacks, torn sackcloths, their donkeys and water containers that are all used up and dirty. They pretended to come from far away, and shoes that are completely worn out. Verse 5, I'm just moving up the text. Okay, on their feet and their clothing and their food is all dried and beginning to mildew, and they come to Yehoshua in their camp in Gilgal. So notice what happens. They're camped in Gilgal and go down to do their battles. They did the battle of Jericho. They did the battle of Ai. And now the Gibeonites come to them and they say, Me'eretz rechoka banu. We come from far away. Make a covenant with us. Make a promise of peace with us. They're afraid of Israel. Vayomru ish Israel el achivi. And they tell them, maybe you don't come from far away. Maybe you are close by and you are one of the people with whom we're not allowed to make a peace treaty. And they tell Yoshua, we are your servants. And who are you, says Yoshua? Where do you come from? And they said, from very far country are your servants, but the Lord's name went before us, and we heard everything he did for you in Egypt, and we heard what he did to the Amorites in the Jordan Valley, and Sichon, Melech Heshbon, Og Melech Habashan. These are all battles that Moses fought still, and clearly they knew about it. And they said, everybody told them to take supplies with them and go towards them, and you'll tell them, we are ready to serve you, we are ready to pay taxes to you, and just make a covenant with us. This is our bread. We took hot from our provisions out of the houses the day we came, but now it's so long, such a long journey, and everything is lousy and crummy and dried, and our water is gone. We need fresh water, and our clothing is torn, and they're putting on this whole sob story to Joshua, and they take and they ask God. They ask God what to do, and Joshua decided to make peace with them and make a covenant with them. He was kind, he was merciful, whichever it was. They swore peace. In 3 days after they made the covenant, the promise of peace, like a peace contract, they discovered that in fact they were tricked. These people came from close by, Krovim Hemelav, and Bnei Israel went to their cities, Givon, and here are the names, Beerot, Kiryat Yearim. These are interesting names that will come up in the text later on. I don't know if we go that far or not. And they did not have war with Israel, and Israel didn't fight them because a promise, and they did not go back on their word. And then they complained, of course, to their leaders, their presidents, hey, look, even people in the land are able to cheat and lie to you. And they said to them, we swore in God's names, and we will not touch them. The people wanted to get even with them, but the presidents, the heads of the tribes, and Joshua said, we are Jews, Israelites, we swore in God's name, a promise is a promise. This is what we will do. We will let them live, and we're not going to argue with them. We're not going to fight because we made an oath. And the president said to them, look, we're going to let you live. However, this is going to be your job. You will come the woodcutters and the drawers of water. So those become kind of unhonored positions. They're using them to cut wood. They're using them to draw water. And that's what they promised them. However, we will not harm you because we made the promise. And Joshua says, why did you lie to us? Why did you pretend like you're coming from a faraway land? And now you're cursed. Nobody will be harmed because of our promise, but all you're going to do is chop wood and draw water. Hewers of wood, drawers of waters, and that becomes an expression in the English language or in Hebrew of people who are doing kind of low status jobs. And they told Yehoshua that we know that God promised Moses that they're going to give you the entire land and to destroy all the people that live there, and we were chicken, and therefore at least we're alive, and you katov v'chayashar be'enecha, do as you please with us, but we are going to live. And it saved them, and Bnei Israel did not harm them, and Yehoshua made them hewers of wood and drawers of waters, and they drew water for the temple, and they created wood for the temple, the place which God has chosen. I still have a few minutes. I will try to do chapter 10. I hope I don't get cut off in the middle. Now, Adoni-Tzedek, a king of Jerusalem, finds that Yehoshua conquered and destroyed conquered and destroyed Ai, and conquered and destroyed Jericho and its king, and they made peace with Givon, And when they came close, Adoni Tzedek, the king of Jerusalem, was very scared. And Givon is a very big city, and if Givon gave up, then we don't have a chance. And Ai and all its warriors, so they're really, really concerned. Adoni Tzedek, verse 3, Adoni Tzedek, the king of Jerusalem, sends to Hoham, the king of Hebron, and Piram, king of Yarmut, and Yafia, king of Lachish, and Dvir, king of Eglon. See, they're looking to make a treaty. Alu alai ve'izruni, come to me and help me, and let's beat up Givon, because they made peace with Joshua. Okay, so the king of Yerushalayim is making a group, a coalition, to fight and get even with Givon because he made peace with Yehoshua. And the 5 kings, the king of Emori, Yerushalayim, Hebron, Yarmut, and Lachish, Melech Eglon, and all their camps came and surrounded Givon, and they fought with it. And the people of Givon went to Yehoshua, to Gilgal, and said, don't surrender us, don't give up on us, please come and help us, save us, because all these kings of the Emori who live in the mountain are all coming to fight us, and woe is unto us if you don't help us. And Yehoshua came from Gilgal, and all the people and all his warriors, and God tells Yehoshua not to fear them, you will conquer them. And remember that he has a treaty with Givon, so he feels obligated to defend it. Yehoshua suddenly comes to them, and the entire night he was traveling from Gilgal. He suddenly fell upon them, and the Lord discomfited them before Israel. They became completely disoriented, and he beat them in the battle of Givon, and he chased them to Beit Holon and Azekah and Makedah. I don't think you have to learn every single city's name. It will be good to know that Yehoshua helped the Gibeonites, and he fought against the 5 kings of Yerushalayim and the others. When they ran away in Beit Holon, God made huge stones fall upon them from heaven. Maybe there was an earthquake, and Azekah is one of the Philistine cities, and many of these warriors got killed in battle, and it was like hailstones, with the hailstone, then they whom the children of Israel slew by stone. So they some of them they killed, and some of them were killed by the stones. We have another minute and a half. Okay, so God tells Joshua the day that he conquers all these kings in front of Israel, and he says the following: Shemesh begivon dom ve'yareach be'emek hayalon. The sun stands still in Gibeon, and the moon by the valley of Ayalon. What he is trying to do is stop the sun and the moon so the daylight should continue. And one of the other miracles that happens to Joshua, just like to Moses, God stops the sun and the moon so Joshua can finish the battle. I will stop here and continue in a minute.